I thought I'd done this video, but I guess I haven't. I wanted to talk about some of the differences between being a club DJ and being a wedding DJ. Because they are very different. There are different objectives. And I want to talk about that in this video. But I feel like the first thing I have to address is the elephant in the room, which is the thing that most people will bring up right away, and that is the money. Yes, as a wedding DJ, you're going to make significantly more money per event than you are as a club DJ. However, if you do the math, and this is based on my experience and what I do, you can actually make more money per hour as a club DJ than you can as a wedding DJ. And I know that might sound insane to some of you, but I went ahead and I did the math. I want to just present this to you. Again, based off of my experiences. I think I'm being pretty generous with these numbers as well. I understand that a lot of people will tell me that they can't make any more than $150 to $200 at a bar or a club, and I understand that. Some markets are like that, some clubs are like that, some bars are like that. That's not the case in my market. Okay, we're talking about the right establishment, and assuming that you have some experience and know what you're doing, you can command some cash. And when it comes to the wedding DJ thing, some people will make more or less than the number I'm going to suggest that I'm basing this on today, which is generous, by the way. We're talking about a full-time wedding DJ. We're talking about $2,000 per event for a wedding DJ. Now, for the club DJ, I'm going to base this on $400. All right? Some people, like I said, are going to say they can only command a lot less than that. Some people are going to say they command more than that. But we're going to base it on $400 because that's about what it is around here, if you know what you're doing. $400 is a fifth of $2,000. That's quite a bit less, right? But let's break it down per hour, all right? As a full-time wedding DJ, and I'm not talking about a weekend warrior, I'm talking about a full-time wedding DJ, because we hear that term thrown around a lot. It really means that you're working on this stuff all week. So in total for every event, I think it's fair to say that I'm putting in about 30 hours per event. That's client meetings, that's timeline creation, that's equipment maintenance, that's taking care of the music stuff, that's anything like site inspections too, and performance along with travel time setup and breakdown. 30 hours easily, sometimes even more. 30 hours, $2,000, what's that come out to? It comes out to, I got the number written down here, $66.66 per hour. Now let's talk about a club DJ. Let's say you're doing a 5-hour performance, and let's say that you live a half an hour from the club or less, like I do. I live just a few miles from mine. Let's do an hour travel time with that. So total is 6 hours. 400 divided by 6 hours. Guess what that is? And once again, $66.66 per hour. It's exactly the same per hour. However, there's more to this story because as a full-time wedding DJ, you have expenses. On an average job, not one where I'm doing a lot of extra stuff like ceremony and extra lighting and extra sound. On an average job, when you talk about equipment rental, which is based on 5% of retail, all of my marketing expenses, insurance, out-of-pocket expenses like fuel costs and things like that, and special downloads per event, it's really fair that I'm spending $600 per event. So I have to make $600 before I can even profit from any mobile, right? That brings us down to $1,400, which may sound a little more reasonable to some of you as far as what you're getting for events. So, what's that hourly? $1,400 divided by 30 hours? Let's see, what do I got here? $46.66. At a club, I don't know, what's the expenses? Now, this is assuming you're not bringing your entire mobile system to the bar or the club. This is assuming that you're bringing your laptop and a mixing board, which is what I do, and a microphone, right? So that's my equipment expenses. I'm not far. Travel time isn't much. It's very little money when I do the math. But let's just inflate it and call it $50 per event is what my investment is to go to a club and perform. That's parking, whatever. It's less than that, but let's just call it that. So that brings us down to $350 per event. $350 divided by 6 is $58.33. So I'm making more per hour as a club DJ by $12, over $12 than I am as a wedding DJ. Now, granted, you've got more opportunity to make money as a wedding DJ, but you're putting in a lot more work. There are DJs in my market. I just met someone recently, a real cool guy named Steve, who's working all the time. He's at every cool club in town, and I know the names of these places. He's solid. Let's say that you were doing 5 nights a week as a club DJ, just bouncing around, doing different clubs all over the place. You would be making more than a wedding DJ. And you'd be putting in the same amount of time, roughly. Right? 5 times 6? Yeah. So, that's real talk. And what do you do with that extra time? Like, because I have a lot of extra time, I can do things like my consulting jobs. I can do YouTube videos. I can do passion projects like the car stuff and all that. So, I don't know. It's nice. I still love weddings, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of people who are wedding DJs who are really hating on this club stuff, and the first thing they cite is money, and it's like, wait a minute, stop for a minute, do the math. Because these are real numbers. So what's the real difference between wedding DJ and club DJ, now that we get the money thing out of the way? This is what I think it is, based on my experience. When you're doing a wedding reception, you're working for the newlyweds. That's who you're trying to please, and their guests. And you're doing everything you can to entertain them, whether it be ambient music for dinner and cocktail, or conversation, or dancing. That's what you want to do. If your client wants to dance, then you want to make sure that they dance all night. That's what you want. Club's different. Because club, unlike a wedding, is for profit. A wedding, there's no profit involved. They're spending money on you. Club, it's all about making the establishment money. So it's not necessarily about dancing all night. It's about making the bar the most money that you can. And you do this with things like rotating the dance floor and paying attention to what's going on. If you are an EDM DJ and you go into a place where not everybody wants to hear the EDM and you chase people away, you're not achieving the objective here. If you are not paying attention to bar rotation, so if you've got one crowd out on the dance floor all night and one crowd at the bar all night, you're not doing your job to rotate this audience in and out of the bar. When you do rotate the audience, that is when you maximize profits. And that's what makes you valuable as a club DJ. So they have completely different objectives. Weddings, not for profit. They're just spending money on a service. Club, you're there to make the club money. And there's very few exceptions to that. The one exception I can think of that I experienced in the club realm of things was when I was doing Club Evolve at the resort. It didn't really matter that much if the bar made money that night, because being a resort, they wanted to have this, I think it's called a 5 diamond status, and to achieve this, you had to have entertainment available 6 nights a week. Regardless as to whether or not anybody was there to be entertained, you had to be there. So, yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, yes, the bar made money, but that wasn't the main objective. The main objective was, again, just to have somebody there providing entertainment if anybody wanted it. But that is the exception to the rule. Most of the time, it's about making the bar or the club some money. If you go in there and you're just self-indulgent, you're not paying attention to the audience or what's going on at the bar or how much money anybody's spending, you're not doing this establishment any good. And maybe that's why some of you aren't commanding that much cash too. Maybe that's why it's low dollar. if you can prove to an establishment that you can indeed help increase their profits, then you are valuable and they will spend money on you. So, I don't know. That's the video. I hope it made sense. If you guys want me to expand on any of this stuff, let me know in the comments section and I will do my best to do a video expanding on these topics. But I think most of you get it. I hope you do. And yeah, there's no hate on either one. I love DJing clubs and I love doing weddings and parties and things. It's really nice to have the break and to be primarily doing the club right now. But that doesn't mean that I'm hating on the weddings and the mobile stuff. I still love it very much. And I'll tell you this too. Some people are just wedding DJs. Some people are just club DJs. That's totally cool. But as someone who does both, I've learned so much about weddings from doing clubs and so much about clubs from doing weddings. I bring a lot of the skill sets that I developed at weddings to clubs, and a lot of the skill sets I developed at clubs to weddings. It enhances the experience and it makes me a better DJ for both formats. But that's me. I'll wrap this video up. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. There's a lot of car stuff coming up soon with my brother coming in. We're going to do some Mustang stuff. But I'll still try to get DJ's videos out as I can. He's going to be around for a while. We're going to be busy. We got a lot of work to do. And we'll document that here on YouTube if you're interested. If you're not, just skip over it. I totally understand. But regardless, I appreciate you. And I thank you for watching and subscribing and liking and commenting and sharing this video somewhere where you think somebody might like it. Some group or whatever. That's cool too. Practice and enjoy.